Welcome to the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, a podcast where we teach speakers how to land paid speaking engagements and corporate contracts. Each week, we deliver high-quality content that teaches you how to level up your speaking business. Be sure to join the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group after having your mind blown by this information-filled episode. Now, here's your host, Ashley Kirkwood, lawyer and professional speaker. This is the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast.
Hello, it's Ashley Nicole Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. Super excited about our guest today. Kevin, welcome to the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. How's everything going?
Everything is everything. How are you?
I'm good. So let us know, Kevin. Tell us about what you're doing now and how you're helping people now. We'll start there. There's so much to dive into.
Oh, not a problem. So right now what I'm doing is I'm coaching people on how to literally attract their ideal client, paid client, without having to be tech savvy, but it is using some automation. That way you really get the right person that comes to you, and then we help them build their programs and then literally stretch them beyond their imagination to learn how to enroll people without fainting like I used to do when I first started.
Excellent. And I know that we met at a live event. Well, first we met at TSP, but then you attended Speak Your Way to Cash Live, our event series. And what did you think about that experience? What made you even decide to come? Tell us a little bit about, or tell the audience a little bit about how we started working together.
I saw you at a conference and Ashley said something that I knew was real for me, but I could not say it aloud like her. She comes in going, "Oh, I know I'm a speaker. I was born to speak." And she just went on and on and on how much she loved it. But when I met Ashley, I knew that was in me, but I still wasn't quite where she was. But there was something very magnetic about her that I just absolutely love seeing. How can a person just be so free to say what they love to do, how they want to do it, and they would do it for free no matter what? So I started peeping her and checking her out, and I said, you know what? That lady's the real deal. It was really great meeting you.
Yeah, it was great meeting you too, both at TSP and then also at the event. And you have so much experience in the industry. Tell everyone a little bit about your background in the professional speaking industry before we met.
Okay, well, sure. I was what they called a speaker advocate coach working with Lisa Nichols. So I joined her programs and then all of a sudden kind of found my way helping people on her campus, which was kind of nice, showing people different techniques. And they were all over the world, which was really a fun thing to do. So I kind of met you while I was still doing that there.
Yeah. And what's interesting is like, you just kind of gloss past it. You're like, yeah, I work with Lisa Nichols. I mean, she's literally one of the biggest motivational speakers in the world currently. For those of you who don't know, look her up. You probably do know though, because she's everywhere. And so I think having that background, and then I love how global your impact has been because you into it in such a global way. So that has been great. And so there are a lot of people listening who are like, okay, well, Kevin has this amazing experience, global impact already. And he didn't even tell you all about his professional career. He has a bomb professional career as well. He's like on commercials for Walmart or something like that I see all the time. So he does all these amazing things. How was it that you in all your glory didn't feel comfortable saying, this is who I am. This is what I do. I know that I want to speak to nations and I'm ready to go after those ideal clients right away.
It's very easy. A young advanced has a quote that says, when you do not heal the pains of the past, they will bleed and stain all over your life. So when I was young, kids that looked like me didn't have a photographic memory. And what I meant, I had one of those old souls. I just kind of knew things at a very young age. And when it came to tests and different things, none of it was hard. It was very, very easy. So when you blow a lot of the curves, and then I had a little attitude with it, that wasn't pretty. I was like one of the most not popular people in the class, if that makes sense. So that having that experience kind of was like that little villain on the shoulder, so to speak, thinking, yeah, it feels good to say I'm going to be a speaker because I knew that at a young age. But I kept thinking, yeah, but who's going to listen to you? Did they ever? And so no matter how much I wanted to go forward, I had that inner thing just constantly going, yeah, but how did that work for you in this grade and that grade? And so what I didn't realize is that at 9 years old, I was doing the best I could at 9. Man, you're grown now. So are you letting a 9-year-old still drive the front seat of your car, your life?
Wow.
Makes sense?
Yeah, no, that's powerful. That's powerful. And I appreciate you saying that because I know outside looking in, it's very easy for people to see, like to think that you've always been as dynamic and as comfortable and as confident as you are now, not knowing you also did the work to get over some of the things that you had to get over to show up and serve the way you do now. Because I've watched your lives. I think you call them the gyms, right? So I've some of your live trainings, and the energy and the electricity that you bring and the excitement that you bring to your people is very, 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 very electric. So after you attended the event, we did a VIP day. And then what was that experience like for you? For those people who are listening who are like, oh, I've heard about her doing VIP days. How would that work? What does that look like? How was your experience in that? Because I feel like there were so many aha moments that we had.
So if you haven't done a VIP day with Ashley, you gotta do it. I had ideas and glimpses of where I wanted to go, but when I started working with Ashley with that VIP day, it really enlightened me. It had so many different things. In fact, we created a whole brilliance tour this year that COVID completely smashed, which is how I even pivoted to the attracting high ticket clients in the first place, because I realized I can't stop. But what I love with Ashley, going back to the VIP day, we literally sat there, just Zoom, and we just kind of started fleshing out different ideas. One of her skill sets is literally looking at just a word and being able to just come up with all types of, acronyms for it so that it really can make a nice presentation for you. So I really appreciate that. And I got to shout out to Ashley's family as well. All of them are entrepreneurs. All of them are wise. All of them are just constantly breaking bread, so to speak. So everybody in your whole family is speaking their way to cash. I love it. Tell dad and mom I say, hey.
Yes, no, I will. I'm Pastor Keith. I'm definitely going to show them this. That's awesome. And what I loved about, and this is what people don't realize, I attract true experts. And I don't think people know that, because I have people come and they're like, oh, well, I do this or I do that. And I'm like, oh, no, that's amazing. Like, this is a brilliant idea. We can easily flush this out. You can sell it to this audience. We can package it like this. Then you're going to market it like this. And it's like, just like that. And they're like, clarity, boom, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Because there are some people who don't even know, they don't know a topic. And so they're like, oh, I don't know a topic. I don't even know where to go. But for someone like you and a lot of the other people that we attract, they already know a particular topic. We're just putting the package together. We're just assembling. So, okay, so COVID, we had this dope tour, okay, planned out. But then COVID came in and was like, there are other people you're supposed to help. And I think, I want to talk about that primarily during this, because I think that a lot of people think as a speaker, it's multifaceted. Speakers speak on stage. Speakers serve in this way. Speakers serve in person for clients. Speakers serve in that way. But really, once you know how to communicate your excellence, your brilliance, you can do that in any number of ways to your own audience or to an audience that has paid you to get on stage. And so now what I've seen you do is just blow up your own platform and attract your ideal clients and help them to attract their ideal clients. So tell us a little bit about what that pivot was and what you're currently doing.
Well, so what had happened was this whole tour plan. In fact, it was going to a bunch of pharmacy schools and just kind of showing them how to not only just get selected and hired, because a lot of right now, our whole industry, I'm a pharmacist by trade. Our industry has kind of collapsed. So it was looking at how do you showcase and show up so that out of 120 people or however many applicants applying for that one spot, how do you shine and be brilliant? So the whole thing was going to center around that. It was amazing. And then COVID popped. I said, you have got to be kidding. So I found myself at a conference once again thinking and wondering, now, how am I going to do this? I love conferences. I love educating. I love doing VIP days with people like you that are brilliant and others, because it's just constantly sharpening the saw and making sure I never, ever stop learning. And somewhere in there, I was working on a conference and once again, selling high-end ticket products for somebody else. It was not mine. But then somebody saw me in another place and said, hey, question, are you still selling high-end courses? I said, sure I am. Well, listen, rather than doing it at a 3-day conference, what I want to do is this. I want you to do it whether you're at home or wherever. I'll just send the leads to you. I said, what? Wait a minute, what do you mean you're going to send them to me? So what was happening was, with just a few clicks, we had things coming to my calendar, whether I was working, whether I was at home, whether I was out and about. It was only around my availability. And I said, wait. This doesn't have to be done at a conference. So in an hour now, I'm enrolling high dollar client into this particular course in about an hour.
Is this your course or someone else's course?
It was 2 different courses. So with one of them, this was a 3-day conference. This other one was a real estate course in a whole other state. People were all over. In fact, I even had somebody
outsourcing sales to you.
Yes. Somebody was in the actual, they were in the healthcare field in New York working with COVID. And when the person got off of work, they came to one of my calls and we actually wrapped them up and got them on their way. And I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding. So it was in the pivot of COVID, I began to see, Kevin, your opportunity is hiding in plain sight. You've been doing this for the last couple of years, enrolling people in high-ticket courses. Why not show people how to do that? Because that right there is a skill.
Yes, that's easily identified as a skill. So, okay, so we have to back up. First of all, did y'all say we just dropped that he's a pharmacist? Like, that's not a big deal. That's a big deal. Okay, I just wanted to say that. But number two, what do you classify as high-end? Because they're like high-end and money and all of that means different things to different people. So some people are like, it's high-end to me to pay for $500 course.
Oh, no. These were 10,000, 11,000, 7,000, 8,000. The lowest one was 3,000.
Okay.
So when I say high end, it was like that. Because in one of these conferences, they just had a whole blend. But then when this other person, it was just constantly 7, 8, and 10 constantly. And you know what? You're right. High end is different. So this is the kind that would take your breath away. But for me, it was kind of easy. Learning to listen to people and help people, seeing where they're stuck, seeing where they're hurting, and offering that course, because that right there was going to allow them to be free. I paid for them for myself or invested in myself. So I thought, why not help other people do the same?
Exactly, because you already understand the product. You already know the product. Excellent. Okay. I love that. And for people who are listening who are like, all right, and this is what I always say, you can become a 6-figure speaker without products, but a 7-figure speaker always has back end. Like there is no other, like every single speaker, if you look at the millionaire circle for speakers and the billionaire circles for speakers, they always have products and back end things. And frankly, even at the 6-figure level, you're going to want other things and it's not like, and I know that some people struggle with this because they're like, Ashley, you're always talking about money. Let me be honest, whatever. Like, there's some people that just don't get, but whatever. Just to say this, you cannot typically, there is a transaction before transformation. Typically.
Ooh. So somebody tweet that. Transaction before transformation. That was beautiful.
And I'll be honest and say that for a lot of people, without some level of investment, there will not be a transformation. I don't care if it's an investment in time, because some people, it's not an investment of money. It's an investment of time. It's an investment of something else. But there is going to be an investment before you make a transformation, because otherwise, when it's free, you disrespect it.
Exactly.
So you can't charge little bitty rates if you want your clients to have a big transformation, because your clients will disrespect their transformation because you discounted it. Like you're doing people a disservice by charging like $1 for something or $10 for something. Like it's just not, they can't value that. They just can't.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. David Kakich, I'm not sure if you know who he is. Back in the 70s, he had a spinal cord injury while he was lifting weights, and he came to this realization. So he had these like 100 quotes. And one of the things he said was, the best investment you will ever make is your steady increase of knowledge. So invest in yourself. And you're right. When I went to the Lisa Nichols conference for the first time, again, I became a pharmacist, but I already knew I was a speaker. As a kid, I used to hide and go to conferences and look around the corner. I'd go to Toastmasters, but I still had that little demon going, I don't know if you did this. Would anybody be listening to you? So when I went to hers and she had this offer, I kid you not, I was literally there. And then 3 days later, they're like, oh, and by the way, we're about to do this kickoff thing. And if you want to invest yourself, come on over here so you can be this world transformational speaker. And I got on the phone with my rich dad. I call him Rich Dad from that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's a little Italian millionaire guy who I always respect, kind of handles my money. And I say, hey, Rich Dad, listen, man, this woman is not only talking to my dreams, she's kicking my fears to the curb. Then she's confirming my suspicion, saying, I know you may not quite believe, but yet there's something inside. And I'm going, oh my God. And then she's justifying my failure, saying, Kevin, you're fine. It's okay that you didn't do this in the past. You were in the right place at the right time. And now she's partnered with me saying, we're going to walk this thing out. Rich Dad, what do I do? My checkbook is burning here. He was like, Kevin, I never seen you so excited before. That's my best Italian accent I can get. I never seen you so excited before. So if you really want to do this, how much is it? And I was like, at the time, it was pretty much like, I think $7,000 or something. But I want to go. I really want to go. And he was like, you know what? I like the fact you want to invest in yourself. I like the excitement I hear. Do it. You should have seen me through that credit card as fast as I could. And I said, Nate, take this card and take me with you and help my dreams and help me with these fears. So she helped me rewrite that story, and the rest has been history. And I've been on fire ever since. And
let's just break that down. If you are listening to this on the Speaker Attached podcast, or you're watching it with us here live, I just want you all to lean in for this masterclass in sales that Kevin just shared with us. Because here's the thing, your clients should be so excited excited about spending money with you that it is not like that whole thing about, ooh, but I don't want to have this icky feeling. So don't be a fraud.
Exactly.
If you're not a fraud, I will never feel bad about a price. Like, I just won't. Like, people know to join the Speak Your Way to Cash Academy for my private clients, the special rate was $15,000. And I have people in my DM saying, you know what? This is the best investment ever made because I attended your $700 event and got more than I got in a $15,000 program already. We have all the receipts. They were excited. And the reality is, if you're not a fraud, and most people who feel fraudulent aren't fraudulent, because if you were a fraud and a scam artist, you wouldn't care, right? Like you wouldn't feel bad anyways.
Exactly.
Artist, but like you're not the people who, because people are not a fraud, never feel bad about the rate. Here's the thing. They're paying for the piece of your time that they're going to get, but they're not paying for the product anyways. They're paying for the information that will transform their lives for the rest of their lives. So a lot of people think about their products and their services in terms of like, oh, this is going to be like a 1-year access membership. So they're going to pay me for this 1-year program. No. They're paying you for the information you're going to teach in that 1-year program. And guess what? They get to keep that information for the rest of their lives. For the rest of their lives.
And more importantly, you're helping them be going from stuck where there's a pain, there's hell, things that keep them up at night where they know they should be doing something and they can't figure it out. And when they hear what you have to say, your program is going to be the thing that's going to say, I can breathe again. I can live again. I can now walk forward, even if I have to do something temporarily that I don't want to do because of what you're saying and what you're doing is going to help me in my long run. Thank you for being willing to be seen. Thank you for being willing to put that product out there because you don't know how you're saving my life. That's how I felt when I invested. And I realized my ideal client is looking for me because it's the same way as well. What I created is going to help somebody else because they're really stuck.
Yeah. And the other thing that I love about people like you and some of my other clients is that people aren't even afraid to invest. There is a lot of people, even right now, and I know that you all are like, it's a pandemic, it's COVID, and I'm sensitive to everyone's at a different place. Some people ain't got no problems. Other people got a lot of problems. Wherever you at on the spectrum, right? There's people everywhere. But there are people right now, today, on the date that we're recording this, that are looking for the solution to their problem. And it doesn't really matter what that solution costs. If it solves the problem, they're ready for it. And if if their problem is they need clarity and you can provide clarity, they're ready for that. Like they're ready to invest in that level of clarity. And I'll tell you something else. A lot of people, and this is where people get a little sensitive. So if you're sensitive, just log off now, close your ears now. A lot of people cannot charge premium rates because you've never spent a premium price. So you've never paid a premium price, so you can't charge a premium rate. You're stuck in, I would never pay that. I would never invest in myself at that level. So you feel guilty asking people to make a higher investment than you've ever been willing to make. That is that guilt. So your rate's $500 because all you can fathom spending is $500. But the more I invested in myself, the clearer I was able to get, the better I was able to serve my clients, and the more value people were getting regardless of the price of my programs. So I really do think people have to be careful that you're not blocking your blessing by penny pinching.
And there's a Bible scripture that supports what you just said. Give, and it shall be given. Give what? So if you really want somebody to give to you, you first give that same kind of way. And I love that because when I think about what I've done, actually, I've probably spent the equivalent of almost $150,000 just in my head. But what I love more than anything is that it took me from a place of just pain or being stuck or not quite sure. And I began to not only get the MBA I got over here at a school, but I got an MBA just in me, an MBA in knowledge, an MBA in parts of what you taught me and other different people all around the spectrum so that I can really begin to see life in a huge way, but with more clarity, more purpose. And that's why I said, you know what? If I did it, then I know there's somebody else just like me who needs to do that too. Hey, look at your chat. It's blowing up. I see Odell and Nika just chatting it up over here.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And I mean, we have the comments going, so true. My coach only talks about money and salvation. Yes. I mean, Odell says professional speaking should be paid advertising for your products and services outside of speaking. Yes. And I think too, it's just, there's so much goodness in this. And I'll tell you guys, like, honestly, there's so much, it's so important that you don't literally just block your own blessing, because it's like if you want to be a leader, or if you consider yourself a leader, one of our obligations as leaders is to make sure that our mindset doesn't block all the people that we're leading. I have a coach, and I talk about her all the time. I think she's amazing. She's one of my coaches. But one of the things that I told her recently in our private conversation is I was like, look, I love you because you're not reductive. And what I meant by that is I would come in and be like, yeah, so my goal next year, I want 3 million. I want a lot of it to be in subscription services. I want it to be guaranteed income. I want to work hard January, February, and I want my income to be secure for the rest of 2021. And I was throwing out numbers. I was like, this is what we're going to do. That's what I want. That's how. And she was like, yep, that's easy. I was like, yep, you're my coach then. Because a lot of coaches are like, well, you want to start here, or well, you want to price down here first, or you don't want to go too high. And that for me is how I know that I can't grow with a particular coach. If they're always reductive of other people's ideas or reductive of creativity, it's not going to work. So I know that you teach people how to get these clients. And I'm sure that in order to do that, you have to get over some of the mindset issues. How do you help them to get through the mindset issues of lack, limitation, and poverty thinking?
It's all about just knowing that there's a faith. I tell everybody, I say most of my people are kind of believers anyway. Mm-hmm. And most of them have faith. And I say, I'm going to show you how to have faith on steroids and how to truly believe the very thing that you talk. Because here's what I know for sure. The very thing that I struggle with, there are millions of people that struggle with it too.
Yeah.
The very thing that you struggle with, client, there are millions of people that struggle with that too. In fact, most times your program is probably built on a struggle you just overcome. Now you want to help the world overcome that too. Would that be accurate? And they're like, yeah, you're right. So here's how you do this. The first mindset is just knowing what I just said. There's somebody who needs exactly what you have. You're perfect as you are. So mine is really affirming the person. You've got everything it takes right now. Now let's look at it. We may have to structure it, tailor it so they can begin to see you in the clearest light. That way we allow them to choose their highest and best selves, and they're going to use you as the vehicle to help get them there. But as far as who they are, that mindset, they are perfect as they are. They have exactly what they need. Our job is just make sure that it's magnetic enough. It's attractive enough. Does it not focus more on the person who's in charge of it, the client, but really focuses on a person that's going to come into the program. So we just make sure it's tailored correctly so they can really walk the purpose they say want to walk. But first have that faith. There's somebody out there for you. And if they're not coming yet, all it is that we just need to tweak something so that access and the whole field can be now clear and green and they can run.
Yeah, I love so much about what you said. I'm going to go through. I always take notes of brilliant things that Kevin says. So
wow.
I want to take note of is the fact that he says when he's coaching them through it, he asks, your program is probably built on a struggle that you just overcame. Would that be accurate? And they say yes. So one of the things that he did in the very beginning, even with that question, is he built a level of agreement. He got them to agree affirmatively. So you need buy-in when you're selling. A lot of people sell without buy-in and they sell without permission. So for me, it's before I even go into anything I'm talking to you about this program, I'm going to tell you about the academy, I'm going to tell you about a VIP day. It's hey, would it be valuable to you if I could show you a system that would teach you how to consistently book paid corporate speaking engagements, how to pitch? Would that be helpful? Would you like to know where to find those engagements? And they're like, yeah. Okay, excellent. Then I'm going to tell you about an opportunity. Now, once you have someone's buy-in and then you present an opportunity, now they're more interested because you've asked. You're not bum rushing them and you can be calmer. But that's how you're not rushing through your sales script because you're trying to hurry up before they log off. No, you've already asked permission. You have buy-in, but then two, the framing around clarity. So the fact that they already have everything that they need. I love that you said that because I think when I'm driving and there's fog out and it's not clear to me, the road is the exact same when the fog is there as it is when the fog is not there. The road is the exact same. It's going to be the same path. I just have to adjust my view so that I can see it clearly. So they already have everything they need to be exactly who they are. And that level of empathy for them and affirming them is just, it's just brilliant. So I don't want you all to miss these gems that Kevin is dropping. So I just want to narrate these things that come so easy to him.
And look, don't forget your gym as well, because remember, this coach actually says, I also have a coach. So that's something I learned for myself. I never, ever just stop having coaches. No matter how high I go or where I go, I love having somebody who's down the road just a little further than me, because it also allows me to get where I want to go sooner, quicker, faster, without having to try to figure every single step out. So make sure whoever's watching Ashley and you're in her audience, you need that coach, jump on in her program right now.
Yeah.
Jump in.
And I'll tell you, like, I didn't even recognize how valuable, because I always heard these things. And when I first started my business, I would always hear, you need to invest in yourself. And I never really knew, like, why people were so, I was like, what do you mean? Like, why are you, everyone was like, you need to invest in yourself. And I'll be honest, if we're being 100% honest, when I first started my business, I was like, well, obviously a coach would say that because they want me to put money in their pockets. Like, of course, they're going to say invest in yourself. But it wasn't until I started doing it and realizing the extreme returns on investment that I was getting that I was like, oh, this is addictive. It is addictive to like invest in yourself, see a return on that investment. And then you want to do it again. You want to get another coach. Like every single time I talk to my friends who are doing very well in business, it's always about a resource. Like, all right, girl, you need to hire her. What's your problem? You need to hire him. Like we trade referrals all day, every day. That's like the first 5 minutes of our conversation. So who you hire? Oh, you hired someone? Okay. They good? Okay. Send me what they did for you. Oh, that looks good. I'm gonna hire them. Like that just happened today. So I really, really do like that. So for folks who are listening, who are like, okay, I have a higher end program or service, and I want to start doing high-end sales, but I don't even have, this is a good one. Okay. This is something that comes up a lot, Kevin. So I'm sure you've heard this. A lot of people think I can't sell anything that's high ticket above $5,000 because my audience is lower tier or my audience is lower ticket and my audience doesn't have any money. And so these are the things that I'm in a Facebook group. I just saw this post, like, how do you start to develop an audience that can afford high ticket programs when for the past few years, everything you're selling is under $50? What would you say to that person?
Well, here's the first thing I say. I had to learn to get my mouth out of other people's pockets.
Come on.
How dare I tell somebody you're low end, you're this now? Who am I? Am I God, judge, and a jury? No. So what I learned, the first thing I had to do, and this is what I teach mine as well, you don't know who has what. Your job is to walk out there and just begin to say what you have. Your job is also to allow people to choose. Now, they may not have it in cash, which you still don't even know that. But what you don't know is if you're having a really dignified conversation about money, we can ask questions like, so let me ask you this question. Do you have access to maybe a credit card? Do you have access to maybe stocks in a company you hadn't even done in a long time and they're just sitting there? What access do you have? That was a story I heard once, and rather than the person discounting them saying they were low quality, when he put out his price and he just was talking about, and it's not even the price, it was more of an investment for themselves in them. But when he put out the investment and he just started asking questions, they were like, oh, wait a minute, I just got an inheritance. Not that it's good that someone passed, but I forgot that I was left this money and it was on the way in the mail. So when you tell people they're low end and you put out prices and you block it, you're also blocking your own blessing. You're blocking your abundance. And now you're putting, those who believe, you're putting your God in a box and saying, you're only this small because I said so. You want to get God out of a box, just be and say and allow God to show up.
Yeah, and you're not even helping them. And I feel like what you're doing is you're hurting yourself because you're frustrating yourself because you're operating at a level that you're not graced to serve at. So there are some of you that would love your businesses a lot more if you just had less clients, but you were being paid well for your products or services.
Exactly.
So it's not that you don't like your job. It's not that you don't like the people that you're serving. It's just that you aren't graced to serve 700 people at $10 a pop every single month, but you may be graced to serve 10 people at $7,000 each. And so you just don't have the capacity for that. And so you have to think about, am I doing my people a disservice? Because I've seen people who've gotten out of business too early solely because they weren't priced right and they were just over delivering, over serving, not even over delivering. They were just overworking because they didn't have the confidence to charge what the product or service was worth.
Exactly. And I want to speak to that. And here's what I love. It took me a minute to get here because I was like all over the place trying to figure this thing out. And I won't come here saying I was the expert, be all, end all. No, I'm from Louisiana. I was a hot mess and then some. But when I learned this, what happened was remember, I'm the guy who was selling high-end tickets at these conferences like 2 and 3 times a year. Well, when they started coming to my computer, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And I'm going, wait, what is this? And then I'm looking behind the scenes because they were coming to my computer. So I'm looking at the calendar. I'm looking at the systems. And I was thinking, oh, shoot, I'm doing this all wrong. Why not automate this and really create that laptop lifestyle? Because all I needed was just having a laptop or the computer in a Wi-Fi. That's it. Everything else, they were coming to me. So wherever I was, that's where we actually held the call. So imagine doing these calls on vacation. Imagine doing these calls while you're at the beach. You do your called and you go out there and play. And I said, wait. And it was the most fun thing in the world to really see people coming, and I can see the pain that they were in. I can see the fact that they really needed, at the time, this was a real estate course. I could see the time they really needed to figure out, how do I go from this job, because they saw people being laid off with COVID. And now how do I get over here and start building wealth, building legacy? My job, not that I knew everything about real estate, because that was not my specialty. Mine was to really listen and pair the investor in that company with the person and making sure, is this really the most authentic conversation? Are you really being real? Are you putting all your cards on the table? And even if you are, now I need to choose, are you ready for this level of work or not? So it was all about integrity-based listening so people could truly make a great decision for themselves. And I had to get everything out of the way, including their negative thoughts and including their negative beliefs, as well as just allowing them to really see, this is what you get when you come. Are you ready?
And here's the other thing that people don't consider. And I think, I was talking to my friend earlier today, and this was so funny because she was like, sometimes people get very disrespectful when they're paying you. So like she was saying that there are people who will, we both had this experience where there was a customer that bought like a product or service from us, and they sent us a really like snarky email, like, you better do this because I gave you $300 to do it. Like, just very left field. It does not happen often with me. It's happened probably once or twice. And I simply, I don't really deal with this. Like, I don't let people disrespect my team or any of that. So it's like, okay, this isn't a good fit. Whatever we need to do, we need to make sure we're not working with this person in the future, and we need to figure out where the breakdown happened. And she was like, I think people think that because we sell products or services, that once they buy that product or service, they own us and we need that money. But we don't operate from a lack mentality. So I always have enough clients. I always have enough, regardless of what it looks like at that moment. I'm always operating in a place of peace, which means I'm not operating from a place of desperation. Like, I just need these different clients. Sometimes you will have people who are not a good fit for whatever reason. And it's not always financial. And most of the time, in my case, it's not financial. Like, some people aren't a good fit because they aren't the type of people who can be respectful. Like,
I know, right?
It's just not a good fit for me. I'm not going to do it to you. I'm not going to do it to my team. Hey guys, I want to come in really quickly and tell you all about the Speak Your Way to Cash course. This course is for speakers who are looking to consistently book paid speaking engagements. In short, if you are ready to speak your way to cash, this is the course you need. There are over 17 modules, you heard that right, 17, that cover getting clarity in your speaking career, branding through the press, a 7-figure sales panel, selecting your niche and finding engagements, selling your signature speech and building it out, onboarding and offboarding clients, implementation and taking it to the next level. And then let me tell you about the 10 bonus trainings that encompass the 17 trainings that you're going to get. The bonus trainings cover things like branding as a speaker, the best tools for finding engagements, determining whether a topic is viable, speech writing for success, speaking techniques, self-publishing for speakers, sales success, landing association and college clients, navigating the conference market, and so much more. You even get the exact pitch templates that I use to land college clients over and over again, and the press pitch templates that I use. So look, you can get this course by going to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC course. ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC course. Or just enter Ashley Kirkwood Speak Your Way to Cash course in Google and it should come right up. Thanks guys for listening. Let's get back to this interview. And so can you talk about, because a lot of people think that I have, like, when you're selling, you're giving up all your power. Like, I have to beg them to buy. And, I have to sell them into these programs. But a part of my job as an expert is to see, okay, there are 2 ways to work with us. Like, you could buy or 3 ways. You could buy a digital product. You can do a VIP day. You can join Speak Your Way to Cash Group Coaching Academy. That's it. You know what I mean? There are no other ways to work with us. So right. If I have an option for you, I have to say, hey, it doesn't seem like we have an option for you at this time. Can you talk about that? Because you're not trying to sell everyone. You want you to really have a solution for it. And we don't talk about that part of selling. So how do you deal with that? And can you talk a little bit about that?
Easily. Okay. So the second client, the one with the automation coming to the PC, what I loved is that company was extremely clear on the type of person and the energy that they wanted. So when we saw scarcity mentality, lack mentality, we saw complete distrust, as if there was something we were trying to do that was shady or incorrect. It was a bless and release and say, you know what? We appreciate you. This is probably not the best place for you. Not because we didn't want their investment, but it was because we didn't want their energy and all that extra negativity to come inside the tribe and begin to taint and make it negative inside. So what we were doing was building a great tribe of people, a great energy of people, and people that understood that when I come in here, I own my results. I own what I do or what I don't do. I don't get to come in here and blame. And that was on occasion, I would tell them on a call, excuse me, this is your stuff. And if this is how I give you an example. I had a lady, watch this one. Now I listened the whole time and I heard the whole time she procrastinated in her life, but she also blamed everybody else. So when it was time for the offer and I'm thinking, I don't know, I didn't quite offer. So she said, well, I think I want to get in here. I said, no, ma'am. I don't think this is a good fit. Well, what do you mean? I said, because all you've told me throughout this entire conversation is that you blame other people and then you do no work. You blame other people and then you do nothing. So I said, because of who I represent here, I'm not going to let you come up in this place and blame us for your lack of work like you've been doing over here. So perhaps maybe this is not, I'm going to go ahead and end this call. No, she started screaming and hollering. I said, what? Next thing I know, the woman started crying. And I said, I tell you what, before I even let you come this direction, tell me why I should let you in. So she had to begin to sell me on why she was going to give me that credit card because I said, here's what I know for sure. You will not come up in here and mess up my name, nor will you mess up the name of this person. We're not going to let you ruin this because of your lack of energy and your lack of integrity that I've heard so far. But what I know is this, we're all human. Mm-hmm. We all make mistakes. And I'm going to ask you this question before I let you in. Are you really ready to now take action? And if you are, tell me why this is different. And we had to come to a real understanding, crocodile tears, crying. It was just a mess. But what I knew is when she got in, she thanked me for a real conversation. She thanked me for really listening and challenging her past what mom and dad may say, because, mom and dad loves you the most and don't want anything to hurt you. But I said, I'm not mom and I'm not dad. I'm here as a real person to have your real conversation. And if we're going to do this, let's be real. And that real conversation really made her see all the past, see the future and what could happen if she did not change her ways. And only in that seeing did I allow her in. So when you're doing these, if you're working with me, we're going to show you how to make real conversation. So it's not this, oh my God, I'm desperate. Let me have your money. I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't have it. Oh no, ma'am. You got to come in and clean your feet off. I told her, take those muddy shoes off before you walk in this house, clean yourself off, and we're going to walk uprightly. Wisdom says that. Oh, I got my wisdom says shirt on.
Yes. No, that's so good because I talk a lot to the Speak Your Way to Cash family about not leaving your power seat. And you're a real expert, right? I work with people who really know their stuff. You may not know how to package it when you come working with us. You may not know all the pieces you need to do to pitch it, but you know your particular topic. Like we have therapists, pharmacists, people who understand sales, people who understand marketing. And so you know your topic, we can help you package it. But because you know your topic, it's your job to lead your client through that pre-qualification process. So I know myself. There are some people that I won't work with because it just isn't a good personality fit. Because I'm not like the type of person who's going to be like sitting on the phone. I mean, if we have a coaching call, I'm not going to spend the first hour talking about how my day is. And some people need that. Some people need the like, oh, how is the family? How are the kids? Like some people need an hour-long ramp up before they like, I'm not that way. Kevin will tell you, we worked for it was 4 hours straight of like, okay, excellent. Okay. And then what we going to do next? All right, excellent. And then this is the plan. But some people, they want you to ask about their mom and them, their daddy, them, their friends, their family, the weather, their dog, their last job, their last boyfriend, their ex-husband, their current husband. And I'm not that way. So if you need all of that, you're not ready to just get into this work, it's probably not the best fit. If you're super, super sensitive, so you're not coachable, right? Coachable is a huge thing. People don't realize you can be confident and still coachable. Being coachable and confident, they don't conflict. Like my coaches will tell you, if I pay someone to give me coaching, I'm not about to argue with them about the advice they gave me. I'm like, whoa. I'm not spending money to dispute you and try to find all the flaws in your systems. No, like you tell me to play, I'm gonna run the play. Like we're gonna try at least once because that's what I'm paying you for.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Oh God. I spent upwards of over $10K for this program right before COVID hit. I spent all this money and we were looking at different ways on getting, because I had this job I got one job and I had this dream. So I'm trying to make these two work. And this person was really great on getting on stages, and then COVID hit. When I looked at my pivot and I looked at where I needed to be, what Ashley just said was true. I realize now that what that information had for me, I'm sorry, no longer would it is going to work in this world. And I just dismissed myself, released the amount that I invested in myself and said, I'm going a different direction. So rather than getting in and trying to make somebody give me what I thought I needed from them, I had to bless and release that money for myself. That was my decision. Yeah. And I went in a direction that was going to support me. And this just happened 6 months ago. I don't know about y'all, but I could use my 10 grand back. It was way more than that. Right. But it was just something that I decided it was not their fault. Life happened. I really wanted something different and I had to go get what I needed to get. But I don't get to blame other people when life happens. I got to suck it up, take ownership, and keep walking. And what I've learned is God just blesses you when you do that abundantly, when you own your stuff, good or bad, you own it.
Good or bad. And you know what else? Like, I love that you said that, because so many people, and this is another red flag for those of you who are like, okay, I want to sell high ticket. I want to work with people. I want to go B2C in addition to doing B2B work. A big red flag for me is when people are like, I've worked with several other coaches and I've gotten scammed by them all. That's a huge red flag for me, because I have made investments that I felt weren't great investments, but every single time that has happened, and it's rare for me because I've worked with some amazing coaches, but if that has happened, typically it's because I rushed to make a decision not based on facts. So right. I didn't look at the reviews. I didn't know anyone who'd work with them. I didn't read the testimonials. I hadn't watched enough of their live videos. I made an impulse decision. But every decision I've made based on facts, like they've helped other people, I like the person, I know they can help me, and I admire their career, it is always, always, always panned out. But if you're someone who's like, I spent a ton of money on coaching and it never worked out, you have to figure out, well, even in it not working out, what did you learn? Because I spent money on a Facebook ads coach. I'll just say this. Wasted all my little time, wasted all, literally. She was like, oh, we're going to do a 5-hour VIP day. It was trash. Showed up. And the thing is, I knew it wasn't going to be good because she didn't ask any questions to prepare. So whenever you see someone who does a VIP day, they don't have an intake form, they haven't researched you, you know it's not going to be a good VIP day. Just side note on that. Okay. They ain't got no questionnaire, it ain't going to be good. Unless they already know a lot about you. You're going to waste your money on that one, sis or bro. You're going to waste your money. But I knew it wasn't going to be good. It was so, and I knew because I asked her before the call, I was like, hey, do you need anything from prepare for this? Sure enough, we got there and she was like, okay, so we're going to use this time for you to create your freebie. And I was like, right now? And she's like, yeah, you're going to create it right now and I'm going to watch. I'm like, on Zoom? She's like, yeah. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And I was like, and, I could have come with this so that we don't waste time doing stuff. That just didn't make sense. And I'm like, okay, well, this isn't like strategy that I can go then and implement. She literally wanted me to sit there for 4 hours, make a PDF and her watch. I'm like, yeah, this is a bad idea. But I still learned, because after that investment, and it wasn't even that much, it was like $3,000, which is also another sign that was way too cheap for a VIP day. And I should have known, this may not be the one. But after that, though, I ended up investing in an amazing Facebook ads program and literally ran my first ad campaign. It brought in 50 time ROI from what I spent. It was an amazing campaign, but I knew what to look for because that first coach was ill prepared. So even though it wasn't a good experience, and some of you are like, I've never heard you talk about this, because I don't talk about the losses because the wins are still greater than the losses. But I share this only to say, although that wasn't a good experience, it still taught me what I need to do for next time. And I still was able to get a lot of things done because I learned from that experience. So you got to be careful, giving other people power over your success. That's the real thing.
That is so true. And just own all your results. When you talk about that, I think about this pen. And when I was younger, this is why I spent all the time blaming. As I got older, but also as I matured, so you can get older and still not mature, I just realized now I'm just further along. So here I own everything. But I can also see when people don't, because I remember a time when I didn't either. Yeah. So I see them down here, I'm going, yeah, you're probably not ready for me here. Why don't we get on this side where you can really own everything? And that way, good or bad, now you are also invested, not just with money, but you have skin in the game. You got ownership in realizing that your success is on you. Your lack of success could also be on you. But then my job is also make sure, can I give you over value, over deliver, and make sure you can be as successful as possible? Well, what are you going to do about it? Do you put any work in? So in my questions, I'm asking, do you at least have so much time per week? Because if you don't have this kind time at all per week. I don't think I want your money either, because time is a commitment when you're learning a new skill. It's like being a baby starting over again. And if you didn't have this skill, that's probably why you came to the call. So I know it's going to take you time. Why do I know? It took me time.
Yep.
So if you can invest even time in yourself, come back when you have just a couple hours, not many, but a couple.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. And when it comes to owning everything, I mean, that's a word within itself, because you really give up your power when you don't. You're like making yourself a victim. You're making yourself someone who doesn't have any control, doesn't have any power. And in every situation, you have power. And everyone who's listening who's an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, just drop your business in the comments. For those of you who are joining live in the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group, drop your businesses in the comments. Let us know what you do, because when COVID happened, there were two camps. One camp of business owners was like, okay, I'm just going to wait this out, meaning I'm going to freeze. I'm not going to do anything different. I'm not going to pivot. I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to see what happens, because I don't have any control over this. And a lot of the posts that I was seeing is COVID took everything, or COVID took this from me, or COVID robbed me of this. There was another camp that was like, okay, I'm a pivot. I'm gonna figure this out, because millionaires are made in pandemics and billionaires are made in pandemics. And so there are some people that were over here. And what I realized is that you have to be very, 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 very careful about what you say, because my dad always says you're the sum total of everything you've said in your life. So if you're someone who's loose with your words or not deliberate about your words, and you say like, oh, all my coaches are bad, or I'll never be able to sell something that expensive, or that's too much money, then you're setting up barriers for yourself just based on your words. So you want to be really, really, really careful about how you frame the situations that are happening around you.
I love that. As a man speaketh, so is he. So whatever's in your heart comes out of your mouth. You may actually manifest that thing. So definitely be careful. But I definitely want to say this, Ashley. I know we've had a spirited conversation. We had a lot of great things about why not to come. But I need to say this, because I know somebody watching may need to hear this. I do know what it's like to not quite be sure. I also know what it's like to sometimes not trust, because I did feel like I got robbed or scammed, and I wasn't quite sure what I just didn't know. And I know what it's like to still be trying to follow purpose, but you're also trying to protect the few coins that you have in your pocket, because you may not have as much as what we're talking about. What I know is this: what you have is real. And if you keep walking and keep investing, learn to listen. And when you know you need to do what you need to do, just go ahead and jump. If it's somebody, like Ashley said, you may want to watch a little bit, make sure you do your research. Don't go somewhere where it's a little suspect. But when somebody's speaking to your heart, speaking to your mind, and it's also hitting your calling, and you know you're getting great value, why don't you jump? I had to do that for myself too, and it was the best thing I could have ever done. And though we may have made it a little light a little bit, it is real. This is your life. And you only get one. So as you're walking through this life, and as you really are deciding who you really want to be, how you really want to show up every day in every way, you don't get the time back. So as we're sitting here and just constantly sitting on the sidelines, watching everybody else, that time is just clicking away, and it can never come back. But we do know that if you're investing in good ground and good people, it would also come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, and running over right back in your direction. So just know that as well.
Yeah, no, that's 100% right. And I appreciate like people are dropping all the different things that they do and how they pivoted and how their business did better than ever, triple profits in 6 months. And there's so much to this conversation. And Kevin is brilliant at what he does. Like if you have not already, we'll get all of his social information together. I'm going to let him tell you all how you all can work with him, how you can learn more about him in a bit. But just keep in mind that like you still can do a lot this year. I know we're in 2021 planning, but like Kevin said, like there are still things you can do this year, and there are still people that need your help now that are like, I don't need to wait till next year. I want you to become who you need to become now, so I can work with you now. So Kevin, how can people stay in touch with you, stay in contact with you? And I want to get all your social stuff, and then I have an announcement for those who stay to the end. So give us how we can stay connected.
All right. So Kevin Goins, and on my page, it says attracting your ideal client. I couldn't put all of it up in here without being tech savvy. That's a big one. A lot of people are like, oh my God, I can't speak. I can't start because I'm not sure about all that tech. Well, in my program, we help you with that. We also have a free Facebook group. I gave Ashley the details on that as well, but I'm also on Instagram. And if you need the website is www.clientbuildingacademy.com.
Awesome. And it's attracting your ideal client without being tech savvy. So if they put that, is that the name of the Facebook group as well? Or where can they put that in?
Oh, no, the Facebook group is just exclusive high ticket strategies for coaches and consultants. Do I need to drop links somewhere, or do we already have them?
I'll put the links.
Okay.
For people listening, it may be good for them. Exclusive high ticket strategies
for coaches and consultants.
for coaches and consultants. Easy. Okay, great. This is good. That's going to be good. And I think you all should really just stay connected to Kevin. This has been such a fun conversation.
This was great. I'm so glad. When you reached out, I was like, I know this is going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And so one of the things I want to say to the Speak Your Way to Cash family is we're doing something totally different this year. A lot of you all know I own Speak Your Way to Cash and Mobile General Counsel, which is the law firm for entrepreneurs. We do trademarks, contracts, and copyright law. We are going to be having a holiday party this year. And it's a virtual holiday party, 100% free. We're also going to be giving out 5 resilience awards to our clients who grew in a pandemic. And I'll be doing an entrepreneur's address. So if you are listening to this, you're like, it's been a long year. I want to have a night of celebration. I want to have a night of inspiration. I want to hear from some business owners who've been able to get it done. I want to see some people getting recognized for their hard work, and I want to get inspired and share and network with other people. Then you should be in the building. You can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/holiday party or just message me for information, but it'll be in the show notes. It'll also be on the Facebook links here. We'll make sure that we put it in there. And if you need that link again, just send us a message there as well. But Kevin, the time has been well spent. Like, you're an awesome person. I had so much fun working with you. If you all are watching this, you can see the name of his brand and the things that he talked about, attracting your ideal clients without being tech savvy. If that's you and you're like, I need to sell stuff, but I want to make sure, really, I want to invite people to my experience. Like, let's focus, because sales is just the end result. You're going to get sales, but like changing people is where the profit really comes from. So if you focus on changing the people, the profit, the pricing, all that other stuff will follow. And I know that Kevin operates in integrity, and there are not, you want to make sure when you look at selling high ticket stuff, you're working with someone who operates in integrity, someone who's not going to tell you like, take somebody's last mortgage payment, all that nonsense, like someone who's really going to get you to a point where you can sell with integrity. But sales is a big skill, and it's something that you really do want to master as a business owner early. So I fully endorse Kevin. I think he's great. And you all know I don't just bring anyone on here, okay? So if you enjoyed this conversation tonight, connect with him, work with him, follow him, learn more about what he has to offer, because I want you all to win. Like, I want you all to just be, and then as an exercise, for those who are listening, we're like, this is a tough time for me. So maybe you're listening to this, you're like, I would love to invest, but I don't have the money. Guess what? You can invest either time or money. But if you don't have the money, you're going to have to invest the time. And if you don't have the time, you're going to have to invest the money to learn things faster. But everyone has either or. Like, you're going to have to find a way to invest either or, time or money. But something else too, I want you to wake up for the next one, like tomorrow, right? Just tomorrow. I'm not going to say commit to 15 days of this. No, wake up tomorrow and just imagine what your life will be like when you're on the other side of the problem you're facing, whether that be getting more clients, whether that be developing out your signature speech, whether that be helping corporations, whether that be pitching. How will your life look? How will it feel to be impacting people? How will it feel to not have to worry about going to Target and getting whatever groceries you want? You know how that is. We all know Target has their pricing. Like, you want to be able to go, I don't want to go Target, but I heard someone say, I just want to be able to go in Target and I want to be able to get whatever I want out of Target. Okay, I ain't judging. How will that feel to go in that Target store? So like, what is that feeling? Because there are people out here in this world who can help you get to that desired result. You just got to find the right people. Okay. And get referrals. It's not that hard. Just get referrals. And, we're happy to help. I refer people all the time. Good people. I love referring. So I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with Kevin. Just send a request to join the group, Kevin.
No, sweet. Good.
So this has been a really, really, really good conversation. Feel free to share, let your friends know. And for those of you who are listening as well, who are like, okay, how do I learn more about Speak Your Way to Cash? You can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/apply to get an invitation for our exclusive private training that we're doing next month to show speakers how to work with us, and also the framework we use to help people book and land paid corporate and college speaking engagements. So this has been awesome. We're seeing requests come through for Kevin's group, which everyone should be joining, and I'll post the link to it a little bit later. But yeah, this is awesome. Kevin, any final words of wisdom or advice as we close out?
Yeah, here's what I know for sure. One of the best ways, I had a lot of opportunities that come my way, and people always want to know, how did you get where you are? How did you get with this celebrity? I just interviewed Patti LaBelle for Walmart the other day, and we just did a commercial. We got another one coming up in January. And when I look, we got 2 projects coming up just for the 17,000 people within the organization on a wellness side, not just on the outside. And when they ask, how did you do that? I always say what I know for sure is this. I think I got that from Oprah. Here's what I know, guys. I had to learn how to really listen listen and serve actively. I'm finding out, what do you need? I always ask people, I ask my teams, I ask the people who I work with, what value do you bring? And the biggest value I always brought was listening to find out, what do they need? And then how do I position myself so that I can truly run for them? I can truly serve them in a way that maybe many are not doing per se. So when they came with those different opportunities, because I had an idea what they were doing, I would read. I would study, I would pray, I would write things down. So when I could answer the question, it was answering in a way so again, they could see me the most clearly and say, it's you that I want. Does it make sense? If you guys are landing a commercial or learning anything like that, it's not really about what you want for you. It's how do you show up for them so that they can actually be positioned bigger because of you, because they can actually maybe increase somebody else's quality of life because of you, and because they can actually perhaps have a bigger financial impact because of what you're doing to help them achieve their goal. When you seek to first understand before being understood, those kind of opportunities will come crashing down on you in avalanches of abundance. I guarantee in my Louisiana voice.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I mean, like, those are amazing words to live by. I really appreciate you guys joining the Speak Your Way to Cash family. Please check out all of Kevin's links. If you're coming to the holiday party, drop me a note, let me know. If you're coming to the private training, you can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/apply. And of course, you can always catch me in the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group. But I'm super stoked to have this conversation with you guys. And this was another one for the book, Speak Your Way to Cash fam. So we'll come back at you with some more podcast interviews soon, and I will talk to you guys a bit later.
It was great being here, Ashley. Good to see you.
All right. Wasn't that interview amazing? If you're anything like me, you have pages full of notes. But here's the thing. Before you head out, I want you to go to facebook.com and join the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group. That is where I am. That's where a ton of other speakers are, a ton of other people who listen to the show. We all congregate there and chat. And it's 100% free. Now, if you're ready to take your speaking career to the next level, I have two ways for you to do that. One, you can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC live replay and pick up the live replay. That training is 7 modules, chock full of information. It's crazy. Go over there, read all about it. Or if you want a more personal experience, you already know that you want to be a speaker. You're ready to fully commit and you want someone to walk you through it and save you tons of time Googling and doing it on your own, then book a VIP day with me. You can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com, scroll down until you see the VIP day section and get more information on that there. All right. Thank you guys again for watching. Please do not forget to leave us a review. That is how we keep this train rolling and get some of the best speakers in the world to get on this show. So please, please, please leave a review. Shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and Facebook in the Speak Your Way to Cash group, Instagram at the Ashley Nicole Show. And I'd be more than happy to chat with you and say hi. All right, y'all have an awesome, awesome day.